energia renovável abundante que está à nossa volta. Temos toda a tecnologia, temos tudo o que é preciso. Obrigado.
Obrigada. Obrigada, Miguel. Elizabeth, it's your turn. Elizabeth, do Instituto Tecnológico da Galiza, irá apresentar o projeto ENEPORTS, que é focado nas oportunidades de descarbonização dos portos, utilizando fontes de energia renováveis e digitalização. Obrigada, Elizabeth.
Thank you very much to you and to everyone here for this space and for the opportunity to talking about a project that I'm really passionate about, which is ENEPORTS, co-founded by the European Union with the Interreg Atlantic Area Program, in which we're trying to assess the opportunity that there is for new port areas for decarbonization and the needs of using digitalization in this process. Why this project comes to life? And the first factor is the regulation. Specifically for port areas, the more painful is the one that talks that this need of providing onshore power supply, that was my colleague was mentioning before. Before 2030, the most important ports has to have this possibility to provide this electricity, clean electricity to big ships. And on the other factor is that we have now technologies and possibilities of investment that we didn't have before, of renewable energy, of green fuels, of storage, and of artificial intelligence. And also, there are rising new industries that require to be close to shore. For example, the offshore wind, floating wind, that requires to build the platforms in quayside or very close to quayside. So what we see here is an opportunity to have a new model, a new vision for the port areas in which they can be not only logistical hubs as today, but also industrial hubs that will be producing and consuming clean energy with the self-consumption, as was mentioned before, but that will also need to be digitalized in order to ensure that they maintain the competitiveness, security, not only of the operations, but also of the data, sustainability and efficiency, and also to take advantage of these new business models that will arise around this production of energy. So we met, a few of us, PDL here host today is our Portuguese partner, but also we have in Spain the Port of Ferrol and the Port of Tenerife, and in Ireland the Port of Galway as associate partner. And from the academic side, this is us, ITG, leading the project with our expertise in artificial intelligence, and also from this side we have ITER of Spain, and the University of Galway on Ireland, and we have from France a partner that is providing an interesting prototype of a device that combines waves, solar, and current energy. So what we aim to demonstrate is the essential role that digitalization has inside this managing all this energy produced by different sources, and create replicable methodologies that can be used by port areas all around the Atlantic area when coming to deploy these energies that, as we see before, has a lot of paperwork and of administration barriers, some regulation voids, etc. With ENEPORTS, we're working on the leg of decarbonization by deploying these testing areas in the port areas. Every one of these port areas will have a source of energy that I will come to describe now. And we have to ensure that all of them operate integrated safely, and as I mentioned, with methodologies that we can replicate. We are going also to test potential uses for hydrogen regarding the OPS. This time we will use a combustion engine because we want to capitalize on further projects that use fuel cells. So we want to compare possibilities on cost and efficiency on that. And we also want to demonstrate the feasibility of this multi-source device that I mentioned that is right now installed, the prototype in France. We want to assess if it is possible to install it in another port, in this case in Ferrol. In the side of digitalization, we want to use artificial intelligence to manage not only the energy flows, but also the organization and optimization of the inner energy markets, because we are going to have not only this wind turbine, for example, in Les Choix, or some wave energy, but also we are going to have a lot of buildings of different operators producing probably some photovoltaics. We will be having people with surplus energy in several parts, and we want to optimize all of this to reduce emissions and to increase efficiency. So for this, we use digital twins of the, we are going to develop digital twins of the energy sources for helping us with the prediction of their energy in real time. And also, we will be developing a BI tool for decision making in order to combine the information of the port operations with the energy that we are producing and all the information of the energy exchanges. And we are going to develop, especially in the case of the Les Choix, we're going to develop a digital twin of the network, the power network, in order to ensure that we have a reliable growth of the load and a resilient protection system. So we are doing this with demonstrators. Each of these port areas are going to install more things, but we wanted to test a pilot with only a few of the elements that the ports are going to install. So for Granadilla and Tenerife, we decided to test the floating PV, the offshore wind, and the wave power. In the side of the production, in the size of the loads, all of the ports are going to have electrical vehicle charging stations. And in Granadilla, we're going to also monitorize the OPS. Here in Les Choix, we're going to also monitorize a storage system, roof PV, wind and wave. And in Ferrol, the PV, wind, and also a storage system. So all these demonstrators are going to be connected to a smart energy platform in which we'll be testing first in the lab and then on-site how the management of all this energy with artificial intelligence. Besides, we will have the 3 other tests that I was mentioned before, the hydrogen power OPS, the protection system here in Les Choix, and also in Ferrol, this multi-source prototype. Not the prototype per se, but the feasibility. We're going to analyze the feasibility right now. Which is the application of this smart energy platform? Well, we want to capture real-time data of the elements that I mentioned before. We want to treat them and use them for predictive analytics, both of the production and the demand. We want to use these artificial algorithms for optimal energy management, to optimize the performance of the sources, to see if something is getting out of their predicted production, to improve the decision-making regarding energy, and to confirm the cybersecurity, which is critical importance. They are critical infrastructure. We see schematics here of how this will be operating. Will be connected to demand, power, to X systems, to the local renewable energy sources, to the charge vehicles, and we have some control center from which we will be controlling all this energy exchange. Which are going to be the benefits of these new port areas? Well, we expect to make them more attractive to global trade, but also to the surrounding communities. There will be some benefits as air quality improvement, employment increase, technological innovation, more investments around ports, more cooperation with the communities, local revenues, new business models, but also we will decrease energy consumption, improving efficiency, decrease emissions, waste of resources, noise, and the operational cost in the long runs. So our project, ENEPORTS, contributes to all these benefits with artificial intelligence, using it securely, also with new technologies as the hydrogen OPS or the multi-source device, and with processes and technological knowledge and replicable methodologies. We, as part of the project, analyze which is the stakeholder matrix, we are the parts that are more interested in this project or that can be more affected by it. So we have assessed some of the needs, and we see, well, we have in the first place, of course, port authorities and employees that have to fulfill the regulation, but we also have a few of the stakeholders that have the same need, which is clean energy at competitive or at least predictable prices, right? If we have the generation in the port, we can easily predict that the price will be one fixed with the port authority. So the naval and logistic industries and port operators and concessionaries and even the tourism and export activities, when applies, can benefit from this. Also, we have suppliers of the port. We will need clear rules for providing energy and services. The surrounding society will like clean air, low noise, and would like to have analysis of impacts and how to address them. This is a very important part of the replicable methodologies I was talking about, is that we have methodologies for impact assessment and environmental, social, economical, of how all these new models of of port areas contribute with this impact, favorable or unfavorable, and how to assess these impacts, which will be the plan. For the fishing sector, they mostly want respect for their working areas and processes, to be not disturbed by all these new changes. For academia and research, we know that we are going to provide new knowledge on digitalization and management of hybrid systems, and we think it can be interesting. And also the renewable energy industry had a study of opportunities, impacts, and requirements that they will need to have to meet in order to install plants on port areas. So how are we today with the project? We're reaching the first year end, and we have developed a lot of time right now focused on these replicable methodologies, which was the main effort on our first year. We have been focused on the administrative processes in each port area in each of the countries, and the impact assessment methodologies, and how to define an internal market, because now we have several generators that may have different energy prices. I mean, it's not, and we have to combine that with different operators that will be want to pay different prices, and also the surpluses of energy of the self-consumption. So all of this has to define an internal market that somehow has to comply the regulations of external market, but are not exactly the same. So this is a challenge. Also, well, we have to comply with grid requirements and regulatory requirements, and besides all of this, which has been the bulk of the work, we have also begun with the digitalization part, collecting data for the modeling, which has also been challenging because there is no always available data, especially on the prototypes. We have begun to analyze how these hybrid systems are going to operate, which will be the integration requirements that they will need. We are beginning we have pre-designed the architecture of the artificial intelligence tool that we will be doing jointly with ITER. And the current IoT infrastructure, the measurement and control part, we have reviewing each port, and we are now defining the upgrade requirements that we need in order to have the system monitorized good enough for us to do the control of all the energy. What we have located as the main surprise for us so far, I expect more from now on, but the main surprise for us so far has been that this new model requires innovation, not only technological, but in regulation and in business models. there are voids, there are new rules to be defined, there are European rules that has not been yet transposed to countries, there are new roles to be defined or juridic figures that are not so well defined, that needs to be improved. And there are business models that will arise, opportunities that will arise here also, from here also, like new services to be provided, new roles to be taken. So we see this as a great opportunity for port areas to go further than their logistical role, but not trying to overreach either. I mean, not trying to go outside their main purpose, but to allow the stakeholders to provide new ideas, new business models, and new opportunities for port areas to be used in a more, let's say, more efficient way, because we can use these local resources that we have here, and we can use all this terrain, and we can use all this interest that we have around not only the renewable energy, but also the new operations, and also take advantage of this new digitalization. So I have been run out of time a while ago, I think, I don't know. But in any case, I thank you for your attention. I invite you to take a picture of this QR and to visit our website. I wanted to do today a quest with you, an exchange of ideas about your needs as stakeholders, but my questionnaire didn't work, so I'm sorry. But you can go to our website and give us your feedback in there regarding what do you think about these new port areas. What will it mean for you as a concessionary, as a stakeholder of the port, as operator, as an employee of the port? What would you like to see on this matrix that I showed before that we hadn't taken into account? And we will try to, to consider that into the study and see what we can reach inside our scope. Okay? So thank you very much for this time.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Fica o desafio de respondermos ao questionário pedido pela Elizabeth, e a seguir vamos